Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, and we've been trying out new computers and all things show related. Did we put this on Wi-Fi instead of phone by chance?
Um,
Don't know if
Not
we did.
sure.
All right. Well, hopefully we're all right here. No, I guess I can't touch anything. And a bunch of people are jumping off. This is so exciting. Uh, so glad you could make it here this evening. We're going to talk about reimagining your future. Jessica's on her new laptop. We've got a phone set up here to see if that is a more stable connection for everybody. And I'm running with a laptop too, and we're going to see what in the world this does. This holiday weekend, Jessica and I got a chance to step back, and that's a bit of what we're going to talk about here. And we got a chance to I'm going to try this again. We got a chance to step back and start to look at what we wanted 2020 to look like and what the 2020s in general to look like. In essence, we were asking ourselves, how do we build a lifestyle that supports us rather than build a life that supports my work? And that's been a big challenge for us for this 4 years that we have built this amazing show. Has it been how do we build a life that supports the work? How do we build a life that supports the show? The bigger question is, how do we build a life that supports our lifestyle? We get to look with the end goal in mind. Where do we want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now? And it's very hard to actually understand or realize where we want to be. But how do we want to feel? And we want to feel more free. We want to feel more alive. We want to feel more of our authentic selves. Not that we're being anything other than authentic, but I've been I guess an endurance athlete ever since I could walk. And I want to be able to get out and play. And we want more family time as well. So we get to challenge ourselves and continuously ask, how do I build a life that supports my lifestyle? As I say that, I apologize. I'm going to work on the camera just a little bit here because I realize I talk with my hands. And the way the camera is set up, you can't see my hands at all. Now you can see it at least a little bit. Yes, there's at least one kitty in the background here. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Not about the kitty in the background, but we're going to talk about how you reimagine your future. With that said, a few key notes. First off, a bunch of you went over to check out our automatic writing program last week, which is what we are going to be promoting the heck of coming up, because we can see no better tool than diving into your inner wisdom and almost hearing a booming voice coming out of your pen that is guiding you, giving you purpose, giving you direction, helping you on your path and on your way. You get that through automatic writing. So a bunch of people came over to purchase it last week, and apparently they got Debbie Downered. There was a security alert saying that there was something wrong with our website and to retreat. We believe we have got this fixed now. So you can head over to automaticwriting.com, still get it on our Black Friday sale price, $97 instead of the regular price of $297. We've been adding more and more videos each week to this program. It guides you through step by step, each step of the way, so that you wake up in the morning and you literally write to Source, you write to God and you say, hey, God, how are you doing? What do I do from here? And you actually get answers to your questions. So again, that's automaticwriting.com. Secondly, oh my God, have we been having a lot of free one-on-one sessions. I've enjoyed talking with each and every one of you. If you're serious about coaching and you want to find out if coaching is right for you, I will be having openings so far coming up in the new year. Last year, by about the second week of December, we're out almost a couple months. So if you want to get in under the wire, you need to come and get a free strategy session with me, basically today, although we're actually booked for a week or two, but as soon as we can get you in. But you need to sign up now at inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Again, inspirenationshow.com/coaching. And last, we can use your support. It takes a lot to run this show and to have all these guests on and to get things edited and to get posts for you and to keep everything going, not to mention the equipment, the editing, every step of this. So we could really use your support. So please come on over if you can as a holiday gift. Support your favorite show if we're making a difference in your life. Come on over to patreon.com, Patreon.com Inspire Nation. It costs $7 a month to support the show. We give you lots of behind the scenes videos, information, photos, funny stuff that Jessica posts. She's got quite the wit, and so it's really exciting when she makes those posts. Again, that's patreon.com/Inspire Nation. All right, how do we reimagine our future? And what I absolutely love about 2020 is, to me, and the original title that I put on the show is Re-envisioning Our Future. And the reason I think about that is for a couple reasons. 2020 is about seeing clearly. We are going to envision, bring clarity to the year ahead. But it's also, as it was pointed out to my by a coaching client recently, it's also going to be the roaring 20s. This is where we get to set the stage, not just for the year ahead, but for the decade ahead. What do we want to see in this entire decade coming up? Do we want to be married? Do we want to have kids? Do we want to travel the world? Do we want to start our own business? Do we want to finally get that health that's eluding us? What would we like, not just for this year, but for the decade ahead? And we get to ask the big picture question. Is this true? What does it mean? Is this true? Well, we are often operating on autopilot in life, meaning from when we're a child, we're told, this is where you want to go, this is how you want to study, this is the careers that are open to you, this is the school that you want to go to. Don't do that. Buckle down. Can't play the sport anymore. Need to get serious. And you are sold, really, what your life is supposed to be while you're still a kid. Or I've heard so many people say, I'm 18 now. I don't have much time before I have to decide my entire future. Oh my God. What kind of trouble will we get into if we try to decide our entire future when we still, as the neuroscientists talk about, don't have our whole brain online? We don't even know who we are. How can we decide our future? But now you have a little more insight. You have a little bit more, hopefully, wisdom. You have a little bit more of an ability to say, who am I? Where do I want to go? And is this true? Do I really want to run a show 5 days a week, 7 days a week for the rest of my life? Is this true? Am I really an endurance athlete and I want to go run mountains every day? Is this true? We get to challenge each and every one of our assumptions. We get to ask, is it true? Does it still fit? Is this mine? So we've had on Don Miguel Ruiz on the show, the author of The 4 Agreements. He talks about how we are all domesticated, how we are all running programs in our head where we have a government of our mind that tells us what we can do, what we can't do, why it's good, why it's not good, and even will try us and execute us if we get out of line. The government, unfortunately, is not ours. It's our parents, it's our mentors, it's well-meaning people, it's not so well-meaning people. And so we get to ask, is this mine? I'm not good at math. Is this mine? Where did this come from? I'm not good at marketing. Is this mine? Where did it come from? I must work and slave and martyr myself for my family. Is it true? Is it mine? Where did this come from? And then, does this still serve me? So for a certain period of your life, for instance, getting Inspire Nation into orbit, the limiting belief which we operated was we need to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get the show into orbit. Great, perfect, awesome, we did it, that's terrific. Woohoo! Does that belief still serve us? Is that still a program that we want to operate moving forward into the roaring 20s? Or is that something I get to let go? And the next most important question that you want to ask is, does this feel light or does this feel heavy? So I want you to start dreaming about your future. I want you to start envisioning your future and see how it feels. Play out each and every scenario that you can for ourselves. Well, what happens if we go to less shows a week? Does that feel light? Does it feel heavy? What if we start that second show on Conscious Millionaires? Does that feel light? Does it feel heavy? Michael, you've wanted to write book after book. How does that feel? Put that shirt on for a second, or that coat. Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? We often get stuck when we look at our future thinking we need to come up with exactly what the answer is now, or we can't step forward. But here's the truth. Everything is a marker, not a destination. Or as a dear friend and Inspire Nation coach, Carol Campus, talks about, everything is a divine breadcrumb. It is only an indicator on our path. It's like going into a store and going, oh my God, I want that jacket. That's the perfect jacket. And then you check, you forgot your wallet, you leave, you come back, the jacket's not there, and you go, oh, I blew it. I didn't get the wallet, or I didn't get the jacket. No. That jacket was a marker or indicator of what you want. But if you step back and you feel into it, you may find there's a jacket that's even better that you find specifically because you found that first one. So everything is a marker. What does this mean? It frees you up to play with ideas and to say, I don't have to worry about every step in the future. I just have to understand the next step. For myself, I went to California years ago. Here I am going to California. Woohoo! Got my bicycle, going to become a professional triathlete. Can't wait to play in San Diego. Put my house in Colorado up for sale. Go to California, and guess what? My credit was so bad. This was a couple decades ago. Yeah, good couple decades ago. Credit was so bad, I couldn't rent a place month to month. I couldn't rent anything. I was basically booted out of Southern California. I came back to Colorado and realized, wait a second, maybe the end destination wasn't California, what was to bring me there to more appreciate what I have in Colorado and make some great shifts. So what did I do? I went back to grad school. I got an MBA. I got a second degree in computers. I'm on top of the world. But then I found the dot-com bubble had burst. I was planning on being a bridge between techies and management, and the jobs weren't there. So what did I end up doing? I went back to my coaching, took my coaching to a whole new level, wrote a book for students and adults with learning disabilities, learned how to work with my mind and to help others work with their minds. So going to California was a marker, not the end destination. Going to grad school was a marker, not the end destination. If you let go of the need for this, whatever you're doing now, to be the ultimate destination, or to need to know in this moment, what is the ultimate destination? You free yourself up. You free yourself up entirely for something even better. So what does this mean? Give yourself permission to take small or large steps forward. Don't go into the student loan debt if you can help it. That's a big, big deal. And school is more and more expensive each year, so I don't recommend it unless you have a strong indication of what you want to do. This from somebody who wrote a book for students going to college, College Confidence with ADD. But give yourself permission to step forward without needing to know the end destination, without needing to know the end goal, without needing to have, well, my parents, I love them very dearly, but maybe my dad in my mind, who would ask me all these great legal questions. He was an amazing attorney in his day, that would get me doubting myself. But we don't have to have the answer. In fact, it's almost impossible to have the answer. We just need to have that one next step. So each and every day, as we're rounding the corner to 2020, as we're rounding the corner to the roaring 20s coming up again, ask yourself daily, what do I want my future to look like? What do I want that lifestyle to be? How do I build a life that supports my future lifestyle? What does that mean? How would you like to live? How would you like to feel? You don't need to know the exact job. You don't need to know exact number of hours you're going to work. You don't even need to know the exact state or country that you're going to be in. But what would I like for a lifestyle? And start playing with, how do I build a life that supports my lifestyle? It may be that you want to, for ourselves, it may be that we want to focus on books, or we want to focus on creating a new show, or maybe we've been talking about taking people on Vision Quest, taking them around the world, sharing, exploring together, growing together, having fun together with you, our audience. We don't have to know the exact answer either, but we get to play and mold, like playing with Play-Doh or clay. Each evening before you go to bed, Dream and play and mold your future. Play with it. Again, ask, how does it feel? What would feel light? What would feel inspired? And honestly, what would feel a bit scary? Because if it's scary, that it's got a powerful energy behind it, and that's actually a positive indicator. If, on the other hand, it feels or it just feels non plus, what's it matter? That's not the energy you want to surf. You instead want a more powerful energy, butterflies in the gut, telling you, oh my God, can I really do that? Is it really for me? What would happen if I step out there? Scare yourself silly. We've all been taught to play it safe. Play it safe when you're on the other side of the grave. For this lifetime, drive it till the wheels come off. Live life with everything you've got. If you're not scaring yourself a little bit silly, chances are you're not living. So I want to open it up to questions here. I'm going to raise the mic just a bit, and I realized we'll do this for next time. I had forgotten to put the lapel mic on this evening, which would give better sound for everybody. So we will get that going for next week. So I'm going to raise this up. Forgive me, everybody, for doing something kind of weird, but I want to be able to see people more eye to eye here. Did that make a difference? Oh, a little bit.
I like not having your head cut off.
We're working on it. I think we get to bring it back for next time. So, okay, head's not cut off as much. I'm looking a little bit more eye contact, and I want to see what questions we have. And I believe Jessica's having a big discussion on the time of day. I had wanted to shift this forward about 30 minutes, a little bit more than that, and try that. Instead, we leapt almost an hour ahead. And I'm wondering if we scared some people away tonight. So I want people to put their comments down here. We were trying to be able to get people on the East Coast before you go to sleep and get people on the West Coast who before were stuck on the highway when we started this, because we were starting it before 5 o'clock, heavy commuter time. We wanted to do it when people had gotten home. Do we have any questions?
Oh, Keegan's online.
Hey, Keegan, so halfway around the world.
I had a question about timing.
Yes.
So let's say you have this vision for your life in 1 year. Is there a way to ensure that it happens in 1 year?
Hell no. So I've got up on my little shrine, I've got up Jack Burden, my mentor. He married us was my best man at 89 years young. And I'm not sure why the filter has gone on high. I'm hoping everybody can still hear us.
I'm sure they can.
Okay. He was my best man at 89 years young. And he always said, you're going to be the next Wayne Dyer. You're going to be the next Wayne Dyer. You're going to be the next Wayne Dyer. And he actually got really frustrated with us when we were going down the barefoot running world, going, you're off track. You've got to pull it back on track. In fact, he sent us to a monastery the next town over to see if we would quit everything we were doing and join the monastery for a while so that we would get grounded again. And it has taken, I just recorded this book a couple weeks ago with a ghostwriter who was Wayne Dyer's ghostwriter. Oh my God, how does it get any better than this? However, that's nearly a decade after we had discussed this dream, which I had this dream of speaking like Wayne, of writing my own books and helping people on their path, nearly a decade later. The question is, was I off track and could I have pulled it together in only 1 year? I don't believe so at all. I didn't have the experience, I didn't have the wisdom, I didn't have the knowledge. I hadn't taken the licks that apparently the universe was going to give me at the time. So hold that vision as clearly as you can in your heart. I don't care about your head. We don't have to know the exact number of books, the exact this, the exact that. Hold that vision, the feeling of it in your heart with everything that you've got, and then allow it to take whatever it wants to take. See, we get wrapped up, we get very confused about time. It's kind of a quirky thing of human beings. First off, my belief is that, just like Einstein says, there is no such thing as time. It's all relative. Time and space and mass are all completely interchangeable. What does this mean? Time's not real. But thankfully, we have watches so that we can get places on time, or else we probably wouldn't get anything done in this physical world. However, we grossly or underestimate how long something would take. Is that how I want to put it? We overestimate what we can get done in a day. We radically underestimate what we can do in a lifetime. So just because you can't do it in a year, and maybe you can, doesn't mean that it's not a worthwhile goal. It's not about, going back to the marker, it's not about the destination. It is truly about the journey. You know, he saw in me a Wayne Dyer. Will I ever be that level? I believe so and more. Well on my way. But is that the be-all end-all? No, actually. It's how do I live my life along this path toward that imaginary goal. I say imaginary goal because the future isn't real. I got here, I got now, man. How do I work on now, man? And if we are too concerned about getting there and getting there fast, then I lose this, I lose this, and I lose this. I lose me in the process. That's one of the challenges in this you got to strike rich, you got to strike gold while you're young society today, is that we think if you haven't made it early, you haven't made it. You've wasted your life. Live your life. There are countries, there are cultures where they don't have people start to get serious, in quotes, about their careers until they're in their 30s or 40s. Why? Helping them to gain wisdom and experience. That's much more important. Friends, family, love, experiences are much more important than most, now if you're truly saving the world in a year, than most goals that are out there. So I would say have the goal, set the goal, lean into the goal, but live your life rather than being attached to the 1 year or to the goal. Brilliant question. Next question.
So you mentioned how the society is attached to the idea that you need to make it big in your 20s or 30s. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of an interview you did with Rich Karlgaard.
I got it wrong with Michael Gelb earlier today. I was going Carl Richgard and Rich Karlgaard, the Forbes editor who wrote a book on it'll come to me in a second. It came to me earlier today.
Late bloomers.
Late bloomers. Thank you. And I was talking about this with Michael Gelb, who wrote the How to Think Like Da Vinci, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci earlier today, and he says that there's a sweet spot in our society of 18 to 28. That's when you're good for something. After that, they start to push you out the door. And certainly in our culture, we have no respect for elders or wisdom. In fact, we don't even want to see people when we get older. We want to put them in a box that we don't have to see, which is just crazy. However, you can accomplish a lot between 18 to 28. Or, Greta Thunberg, she's redefining it even before 18. But massive wisdom for most doesn't come until a little bit later, until we've had more experience in life. That doesn't mean that they can't do great things. And it's probably because of it. I'm even speaking to you with this technology today. But we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. What does that mean? It means just because you haven't made it 18 to 28 doesn't mean you haven't made it. You can look at Louise Hay, who started her publishing company. I believe it was 58 years of age. You can look at, there was somebody I was thinking about earlier today in his 50s. I believe it is African-American gentleman. He has our same agent. Morgan Freeman. I don't believe started acting until his 50s. And many of Hollywood's greatest didn't start acting until their 50s. You can do anything if you realize that time is not the finite thing we think it is. If we are racing, okay, there are some finite things. If you have a biological clock ticking, we can extend it, but there might be a limiting belief, there may be a limit to that. But there is no limit to when you can start a company. There's no limit to when you can run a marathon. There is no limit to when you can get married or engaged. My parents were going, woohoo! We can't believe it when I met Jessica at the ripe young age of just before 40. There is no limit to when you can start something if you don't think I need to get it done in the next year, but I have time. I will step forward today, but I have time to build whatever future I desire. We're rocking it with this show. Where we're going is just an incredible trajectory. What I want to achieve, not as in an end goal, but how I want to reach people and change the world. Chances are we're going to get there and beyond, but not tomorrow. And if I set my sights on needing to have it tomorrow because of my age, I'm doomed. What's my age? It might shock you. I'm 49. I want to wait till next year, till I'm 50, and go beat up with all the loving kindness in the world on all the youngsters and running and ultras and running up mountains and stuff. Age isn't real. It's a bill of goods we've been sold. You can be young until the day you kick the bucket. Then you can go be young on the other side. It's all about a choice. And that's what we're really talking about when we're envisioning our future, when we're reimagining our future. We're talking about how do I want to live? What is the choice I want to make? To live a different way, to live a better way without judgment. You lived awesome up to this point, but let's not live for anybody else. Let's put the oxygen mask, even if you have a family. How can we put the oxygen mask on ourselves first for our 20s? Next question.
Our next question is from Simply Faye.
Hey, Simply Faye. First off, Simply Faye has been one of our earlier time people, so I'm so happy that you are here with us this evening. Love you, love you, love you, Simply Faye.
Michael, I'm halfway through my Super 60 sprint to the new year, and you'll have to explain to everybody else what that is. How do I keep up the faith, most especially when I feel alone, sad, and tired? I want to welcome 2020 with a big bang. Thank you.
So, now I'm not sure if she's referring to a Super 60 sprint as her mid-60s.
I don't think.
Or a 60-day sprint.
To the end of the year.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Days.
Gotcha. Super 60 sprint to the new year. How do I keep up the faith? Most importantly, when I feel alone, sad, and tired. Check your pulse, Simply Faye. Is it still beating? It is? You had nothing to do with it. It's doing it on its own. The world is rotating on its own. The oxygen is coming in and out almost on its own. What does this mean? We can have trust and faith that the floor is going to be beneath us, that food somehow miraculously each and every day will appear on the table, that we will wake up each and every day no matter what, until the day that we don't. So we might as well live it to the max. Safety be damned. Full speed ahead. Charge into the new year. Write about what your dreams are. Envision, envision, envision. Imagine, imagine, imagine. Play, play, play with what your future will be. Don't take no for an answer, and don't sell yourself short. Well, I'm Simply Faye. I'm Simply Faye. I can't possibly do that. I'm Simply Faye. I can't be a coach. I'm Simply Faye. I couldn't be an ambulance driver. I'm Simply Faye. I couldn't. Bogus! Create! Be a sculptor. Create whatever your future is, no matter how difficult. I couldn't go back to med school at this age. Well, look at schools in the Caribbean, for instance. There are so many ways to live your greatest life once you've made your choice. Faith at the end of the day is still a choice. Okay, I had 2 near-death experiences. I was beaten over the head, so to speak, with a 2x4. It is still a choice to either go to that state of love or go to a place of fear. somebody just flashed up a question, which goes right back to a Wayne Dyer question that got me across the country with a bike ride way back in 2004. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Because if you believe in yourself, simply that you'll wake up the next morning and that you will step forward and take one step a day, you can't help but succeed. It may not look at all what you wanted it to look like. It may be it may be radically different. Chances are it will be incredibly better. 4.5 years ago, this show was just the tiny little spark in our eye. 5 years ago, we had no idea we would ever do this. We're in every single country worldwide, hundreds of thousands of people each and every day. Want to get them to our YouTube Live. We had no idea, but we put one little step in front of the next, in front of the next. And if you're watching this and saying, yeah, but that's you, Michael. You're special. You're motivated. You're organized. Ha ha. You're this, you're that. No, I'm you. If I can do this, you can too. It's a choice. I met with the Nobel Peace Laureates in Mexico, was it about a month ago now? Each one of them is a superstar, a rock star, and has helped to change the planet. Guess what? Same pulse. They just made a choice and stepped forward. They weren't, for the most part, rocket scientists. In fact, they stumbled forward, and that's what I'm saying. Stumble forward to one marker or one divine breadcrumb, then to the next, and then to the next, and they stumble their way forward with a powerful choice. So simply faith. Going back to your original question, choose each and every day, set intention each and every day to mold, create, sculpt your greatest life, and ask yourself, how do I want it to feel? And then follow that energy with everything that you've got. Thank you, Simply Faith. We love you, love you, love you.
Okay, our next question is from Joanne. How you stay strong when my husband has cancer? He started chemo and he is feeling terrible, sick. I want to stop crying and not think about the worst like the doctors told us. And today is his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to him, Joanne. Please give him all our love. All right. We have no idea what the outcome will be. We just don't. The best we can do is be honest with our feelings, lean into our feelings, allow for our feelings, and then seek the higher room, the highest vibrational state you can in each and every moment. That might be watching comedies with him. That might be reading stories to him. That might be just holding his hand. I would never say to you, everything's going to be okay in the short term. This is perhaps the greatest challenge the two of you may face in your lifetime together. And whether you come out of it together or not in this lifetime is completely unknown. But you will grow, you will learn, you will expand, and you can choose in this moment to love each other up like there's no tomorrow. That is probably the most important thing you can do. Future be damned. I used that twice tonight. I'll use it again. Future be damned. Joanne, there is no future. We don't know if there is a future. We can worry about the future and not be with your husband now. Or we can say, screw that. And we can anchor in the present moment and say, with each and every breath, I'm going to be here with him. I'm going to be by his side. I am not going to worry. I can take steps toward the future, but I'm not going to worry about the future. I'm going to let the future chase me down, but I am going to make sure that if this is his last year, decade, however long on earth, that I was so incredibly present with him for each and every moment that I have no regrets and I didn't miss a thing. That's what's most important. Now, Jessica and I, we have very different beliefs than the modern traditional medical system. I go back to kind of Deepak's old school view, which is if there's something that gets to be removed, remove it. And then look at all of the other options on the table with everything that you've got. And I highly recommend that. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm not giving medical advice. I would say learn, research, see where you can go, see what the options are. We've had way too many people on the show. Today's show alone was how Chris Work beat cancer. That was today's show on iTunes. So who knows? It is entirely possible, if it's for his highest good, if it's for your highest good, that he could beat this. But the most important thing is to be present, and don't let cancer rob you of the present together by having you focus on the future. I send you all my love, Joanne, and please, he may have no idea who he is, who I am, but we're going to have him in our prayers, and please send him all of our birthday wishes as well. Next question.
RGMM 8888 writes, I need to get the image of my son's death frozen hanging from a rope out of my head. Lost there for 2 weeks. How?
RJ, I have a few key thoughts. First off, all my love goes out to you. I cannot express that enough. None of us were wired and meant to outlive our children, let alone to see that. So that doesn't make anything better, but I want to send you all of my love. With that said, there are two key thoughts that are going to seem mutually opposed, but in my world, sew together beautifully. One, I don't want you to get the image out of your head. I want you to lean into the image, write about the image, breathe into the image, feel the image in your body, mourn, cry, scream, wail, break something, but be with that image, and we have to go through it, not to repel it. At your own pace. It's bullshit. Anybody who says, well, this is the 5 steps and you've got to take it this way to heal. Those 5 steps were never for grieving, were never meant to be go do this, go do that, go do the other. It's all a hodgepodge mishmash with general stages that you heal at your own rate. Secondly, you get to get some massive clearing, and don't go it alone. So if ever I could think of a clear-cut, I hate to put a label on it, case though of a PTSD type of situation. I can remember getting hit by the car racing in France, trying to make it to the Tour de France, that put my left leg at a 90-degree angle just above the ankle. And every time I would close my eyes, I'd have the car accident again. And every time I'd go to bed and I'd try to put a sheet, just a sheet, on my leg, the nerves were so damaged that it would burn on fire, and I'd see the car accident again, and I'd see the accident and see the accident and see the accident and see the accident. We get to get some assistance with somebody like an emotion code practitioner, somebody who can helping you with tapping, both of which have been clinically shown to help with PTSD, EMDR, which has also been shown to help with PTSD. We need to get somebody on your team when you're ready, and not a minute sooner. And maybe that's right now because you're asking that question, to help you to start to get you energetically lighter. I would write about this with everything that I have. In fact, I would write out all the negatives and shred it and be done with it. I would, instead of focusing specifically just on your son's image that you can't get out of your head, also put yourself in the good times, the good moments, and understand. I mean, this is certainly the time to dive into spirituality. Understand, depending on your belief system, that there's quite probably more than meets the eye, and just because he checked out here does not mean he has gone anything but it. Automatic writing, I've taught countless people how to get in touch with loved ones on the other side who have passed away. Is it real? Is it not? I truly believe it is, but that's up to you. There's so many countless books on getting in touch. But what we get to do right now is focus on you and how we can help you to feel better, or help you to, I want to make sure, this is the last most important thing, I want to allow you to grieve in whatever way works for you. We've had several grief guests on recently. It seems to be a theme coming up and up and up and up. And it's something in our own way. I'm not even slightly comparing it, but we've gone through grief 4 times over this year. You have to allow yourself to grieve. You have to not judge it. If you see the image, you bawl, you cry, you fall apart, great. You see the image, you're numb, great. You see the image and you almost fall out of your body and you have some bizarre near-death awakening experience, great. No judgment, no expectations, no time limit, but we do everything we can to take care of you through this process. And as you can see here from the comments, each one of us sends all of our love your way. The next question.
I have a question about destiny.
One of my favorite topics.
And first of all, when you are reimagining your life and you're intending for something to appear in your life, is that your own desire, or is that something that was planted in you by the divine spirit?
That's a great question. And I want to wordsmith. I hope I remember this for next time. I want to look up the meaning of the words desire and of the words passion. Because I believe that it's sort of like when you think of calling somebody and then they call you, who had planted that seed first? So when I talk to people about feel out your future, find what pulls you forward from your heart, that didn't come from you. You know, we've had guests on the show recently who talked about how a child's personality seems firmly set by 7. Some would say it's firmly set by the time they're a baby, by the time they're born. Who they are the day they get here is who they are. Where'd that come from? Why is one kid flying off the wall and another kid like a Zen Buddhist monk? We each came here with gifts, with desires, with passion wrapped around our heart. Our job is to dare to live those passions, dare to live those desires, dare to own who we truly are and we're meant to be. So it seems on some level that it is choice. Well, I choose to race the bicycle in Europe. I choose to write a book, to do this show, to raise a family. But where did those seeds come from? Situations are set up here. Life is a setup. We can certainly make choices. We can have it the easy way. We can have it the hard way. And I highly encourage you, we've all done it the hard way, to look for what's greatest flow. But situations are set up for us to make certain decisions. I often come back to all of the decisions that led to me turning down working with Wayne Dyer years ago and then kicking myself for years. But it was a setup by the universe that brought the right situations, the right people, the right energy, the right circumstances in place to have me believe I was choosing to say no, so that I would go down what felt like an awful path at the time, so that I would come out someplace even better. It doesn't mean we don't have free will. We can choose not to follow our greatest calling. We can choose to ignore how great we truly are. We can choose to stuff down our desires and passions this lifetime. Or we can take the car, how do they call it? Drive it like they stole it. Drive it like you stole it. And drive the wheels right off of it by taking that passion, that energy, that excitement, not the short-term flame of, oh, look at that girl, oh, look at that guy. I'm talking the long-term, this is my pull. I can feel this with everything that I've got. Notice I didn't say purpose. The danger with purpose is we think we only have one purpose and then we shoot ourselves down and get miserable because we go, oh, I didn't do my purpose. You have so many different things. Follow the tug in your heart that you have now. Not the tug you had yesterday, not the tug you'll have tomorrow. Great question. Next question.
Okay, our next question is from Elisa. how do you put intention into meditation? How often do you meditate? Let's start there, and then there's more to the question.
Part A, there are an infinite number of types of meditation. You can certainly make your whole meditation on intention, on an affirmation, on a feeling, on an idea. Or you can do a silent meditation where you do none of the above. There are no rules. I like to go on feeling. Now, for ourselves, for Jessica and myself, or I can only speak for me actually, I meditate nearly each and every morning. I do my best to drop into the silence. Some days that's actually much harder than others, but there's no such thing as a bad meditation. I just be. Sit for about 20 minutes on average, sometimes 30 or 40 minutes, sometimes a little longer. Some days, lucky if I can get 5 to 10 minutes. And then I go into writing, into a process where I go into a state of meditation, I go into a state of prayer, and then I write. I hear what I get to hear from the universe, and then in this hypnagogic, half awake state, half not, I write out my intentions almost every morning. I say almost every morning, because if the energy's there, I don't need to write it out. Only write out your intention, only write out your hopes and dreams if you got energy behind it. I want to be a millionaire. That gets you nowhere. Maybe pause today. Maybe ask, why do I want to be a millionaire? Oh my God, I want to be a millionaire because I want the freedom to travel. I want to be able to set up a scholarship fund and help so many kids that didn't have the choices that I did. I want to be able to take my wife around the world. All right. Now you're talking. Write and follow the energy. That's the most important thing. The energy's there, you write about it. The energy's there, then don't. How often would I do that? As often as the energy is there. But if you don't have the energy, it's not like it's going to backfire, but it may create more subconscious blocks in your path. Because if you go, I want $1 million, I'm so excited for my $1 million. Actually, if you go, I want $1 million, because if you have good positive emotion, you may be able to overcome some of the subconscious blocks, which is why we use emotion. But if you're going, I want $1 million, and your subconscious is going, ha ha, I want $1 million, and your subconscious is going, ha ha, then you may be creating walls and blocks in your path. Step back, breathe, wait till the energy comes back around, and then go after it. Next question.
Okay, so the second part is about time and manifestation. Talking to people and reading, and in my own experience, there's definitely a period of time before it happens, before your intentions manifest. And she continues, also at the end of the day, it is up to life, universe, to make it happen. Sometimes it doesn't. Mitch Horowitz also talks about it. That's why it is important to live in the now. Thoughts?
So I'm going to have to repeat this. While I'm doing that, I want you to wrap around in your head. It just gave me a data warning of some sort. It just said YouTube is using more data than normal.
Which is true.
So I don't know exactly what that means.
About time.
Okay. And about time, talking to people and reading. How do I put my how often do I meditate and about time? I'm following that. Talking to people and reading, and in my own experience, there's definitely a period of time before it happens. Okay, I get that. There's a period of time. And also at the end of the day, it is up to life, universe to make it happen. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. There's a term that I am going to butcher as badly as I can because I get to figure out how this word is spelled again. I call it prahabdma karma. And I'm probably getting that completely butchered, so please forgive me if you know Sanskrit or the language that it came from in India. Prahabdma karma means that we came here with a soul contract. We came here for certain things to take place to help us for our highest good and the highest good of all. Now, unless we go meet maybe with an expert who can do an Akashic record reading, and even then I'm not sure if it's the case, we may never know in this lifetime exactly what our contract is, exactly what we came here to do. What does that mean? It means we have to give wiggle room to the universe. In all of my intention work, all the intention work that I teach people, in our automatic writing, in our Woohoo 8 program, I always teach people to end your intention work with, for my highest good, the highest good of all, or something better. What does that mean, or something better? It means if you keep going, I want to be the biggest, baddest seed I can be. I want to be the biggest, baddest seed I can be. I want to be the biggest, baddest seed I can grow up to be, having no idea that you're actually a giant sequoia redwood. Then you may well limit yourself by not putting yourself in the ground and allowing yourself to be watered. That's the surrender process. So we say, I want to run the greatest show in the world. Awesome. Woohoo! Or something better. Maybe the show is actually a stepping stone to all of the books that I'm going to put out, or to a speaking career, or to taking people on vision quests around the world. But I let go of the attachment, and yes, live here right now gloriously in this moment, rather than getting frustrated going, why isn't my show Oprah-sized yet? Why isn't my show this? Why isn't my show that? Why did this person want to go on their show instead of mine? That's not living in the present moment. Instead, wow, this is amazing. We're driving the wheels right off of this car. I have no idea where it's going, but I'm going to anchor in this present moment. And life still stings, life still hurts, and you go, oh, wow, that hurt, and I didn't see that one coming. And now I'm going to go right back to anchoring myself in the present moment. Universe, here's what I want. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm open. I'm listening. I'm going to surrender and step forward. But you know better than me. This doesn't mean Father knows best. No such thing. But it means that there's a greater plan, there's a greater machine at work than any of us could possibly imagine. And it is much easier to surrender into the machine and step forward and appreciate the present moment than to keep fighting against what is. If you hit wall after wall or closed door after closed door, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean you're even off track. It means pivot. Go quiet, listen, meditate, go into your intention work, do your automatic writing. Say, universe, what in the world is going on here? What do I learn from this experience? What direction do I go? What can I learn from these doors closing? And then take action on that. Next question.
It's not a question, but it's more of a comment.
Okay, I'll take it.
You'll have some feedback.
Okay.
Carla writes, the idea that we have more than one purpose. I have done many things and do not feel like doing them anymore. Mm-hmm. Maybe at 56 years, it is time I do something just because I want to.
Hell yeah. Yes, there is a time and a place for everything. It is about surfing the waves of life, Carla. What does that mean? Well, everything that I'm talking about tonight has to do with, when we talk about reimagining, re-envisioning our life, what I'm really saying is, what's the wave you want to catch? What's the wave that you want to ride in 2020 with everything that you've got? The wave you want to ride in 2020 and in the 20s, the roaring 20s as I'm calling them coming up, maybe nothing at all like the waves that you wanted to catch 10, 20, 30, even 40 years ago. Heck, I wanted to go race bicycles in Europe and go bomb down hills and risk my life going into the sprints and the crowd. And sounds really cool. Do I want to do that now? Oh, heck no. Do I want to fall? Do I want to break bones? Do I want to risk my life for hitting the deck so I can have the crowd's adulation? I love the crowd's adulation. Who doesn't? That's awesome. But that wave has passed. It's why, as an author, you want to hold on to writing that book with every ounce of strength and energy you have, because if you put it down, you may miss the wave and never want to come back to it. So don't judge the waves. Don't say, I missed that wave, because there is no such thing. But allow yourself to be here now and to ride the wave for you, Carla. Put the oxygen mask on you first and ride that wave for you and you alone. The entire world will be a better place for Carla being in the upper room, because her energy is to the max, because she did what she wanted, what she was pulled to do, and rode the wave that was God-given and destined to her. Again, since we really tend to hurt ourselves in the West with self-help, if you feel you missed the wave, don't kick yourself. There'll be, as every surfer knows, Another wave. In the history of mankind, nobody has paddled out to surf and missed a wave and said, that's it. There are no more waves coming for me. Hasn't happened yet. Chances are it's not going to happen.
We got a yes to Cairo, also Machu Picchu and Sedona. Vortexes tour. I love Sedona. I tried to move us there.
See, here's the thing. If I take you on a vortex tour, and we have felt the vortexes, and yes, Jessica, but we lived in a freaking vortex. We lived on the side of Haleakala in Maui. If ever there was a vortex, we were on the side of living Earth, a not extinct but simply dormant volcano with volcanic action only 40, 50, 60 miles away. However, if I take you guys there, I am going to drop you in, and I am going to challenge you to come out of that vortex with a completely new understanding of who you are, of what you are meant to do, why you're here, and where to go from here. And I will help you to accept nothing less. So you wouldn't be going with me and going, oh, I'm in a vortex. How good does this feel? No. I'm going to be challenging you to do the work so that you come out of that vortex completely and totally transformed. That's why I'm not talking about taking people on vacation. I'm not talking about taking people to see the pyramids. We'll go on vacation. We'll see the pyramids. But I'm talking about a vision quest, about diving in on the inside, as well as changing your externalities, your external environment, so that you challenge and shatter every belief of who you thought you were, and you come out reborn anew, on fire and invigorated to live the life that you were meant to live. That's what a vision quest is to me. That's what I want to take you on.
Soul bearing, not a spa.
Yes. If you want a spa, I can recommend some good ones.
I wouldn't mind a little spa time at the end of the day, though.
Balance. I'm not young. I'm not saying I'm going to crush you. I'm going to break you. We're going to take this somatic journey and you're going to have teeth of the machine tear you apart. That's not what I'm saying. I'm Mr. Kind, Gentle, Easy, Good. But we're going to dive in. We're going to do the work. And then let's kick back at the spa. Let's go swimming in the nice warm waters. Let's hang out on the lounge chair. Balance. Man, I don't want to tear anybody apart. I don't want to be exhausted at the end of this thing like we did a 5-day shamanic ayahuasca journey where it was for 5 days straight of everybody just puking and miserable and coming out going, I found my purpose. No. That's not what I want to do with people.
It's good to have clarity.
Yes. Kind, gentle, easy, good, but totally, yes, bearing our soul, run bare, absolutely stripping away that which doesn't serve us and coming out on fire and going, oh my God, I had no idea of who I truly was. I had no idea of where I could go from here. I was limiting in my limiting beliefs. Yes, I was living in my limiting beliefs, and now they're gone. Got time for maybe, we should wrap this up.
No.
One last question, or we're good?
We're good.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Please put in your comments. Did you like this time? Do you want an earlier time? Do you, oh my God, want a later time? What topics do you want us to cover? And then each and every day, please make this choice. Each and every day between now and January 2nd. Notice I didn't say the first. Between now and January 2nd, set intention each day. What do I want to do? How does that feel? Dream, imagine, envision, reimagine each and every day what your future looks like without attachment. And play with that clay each and every day and set yourself up for the most amazing 2020 ahead and most amazing decade ahead. Love you guys so much. I love you so much, Pookie. Thank you, thank you, thank you for running the show and running the chat and for everything in my life. I love you guys so much. I'm not going to get the names right, but there are several people here who have definitely been more than challenged here this evening. And I want to give everybody a giant bear hug, but I really want to take you in and just give you all the love in the world, all the love and support. Know that you're not alone. Know that you are supported. Know that there is something greater in the works. Even if right now it is the most horrific, terrifying, scary, worst case scenario you have ever been through, and just know that there is love. You came from love. You are made of love. And no matter what, the love is always there. Love you guys so much. Speak to you next week, above and beyond all else.
What time next week?
Next time, so far we're planning on the same time as here. I think we might actually do 15 minutes earlier. We might do
6:30?
6:30 our time, which is 8:30
East Coast.
8:30 East Coast, and it is 5:30 Pacific. That is my guess. Again, coaching, very, 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 very few spots left for the new year. So you better come on over if you're interested. And if you're serious about it, come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Please support the show. We could use your support. That is patreon.com, patreon.com/inspirenation. And our most important program and project and everything that we've ever done is the automatic writing program. We cannot recommend it enough as the single most important life changer in our lives, in all of our coaching clients' lives as well. And that's automatic writing, and you can get that at automaticwriting.com. Love you guys, love you guys, love you guys. Have the most amazing week ahead and shine bright. Woohoo! Look, I'm trying to use the cursor to get to the phone.
This is a record number of hearts.
Oh my God. Love you, 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 love you. All right. Did we need a kitty cameo? Nobody asked. Are we good?